Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV time, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, and of course we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Still lots of action, there's awards happening, there's Sevens Rugby happening, there's pre-season training, there's Stormers training, there's testing, so rugby continues all the way through, very exciting. Of course, big thanks to our partners on board with us here at Cape Rugby TV. Score Energy Drinks, as you know, they've just come through the Sevens, Western Province Club Rugby Sevens tournament. So if you want to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks, that is, of course, on the cards for you later during the course of the show. Direct Access, our official financial services partner, of course, available to you. MChem 24-hour pharmacy, just on the corner of Durbell Road and the N1. Yes, Electrical and Intercape, all service providers, of course, to Cape Rugby TV, and Intercape transport provider to Western Province Rugby. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening. Jerome Parvater. Jerome, nice to have you back. I'm back.
Yeah, nice to have you back, JP. Welcome back. I hope you had a great time, and good to see that you're still in one piece for whatever you were doing, but it's good to see you in one piece. And yeah, I think Morgan did well, the two shows that he presented, but I must say we missed you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you missed me. I sometimes wonder about that. Faisal Felton, nice to see you, Faisal.
No, yes, good to be back, should I say, yeah. I'm from my side counting the days. Yeah. It's been a long year, so probably my last show for the year. And then I think after this week packing up and enjoying the holidays and that.
But you still got your hands full. I mean, you've got end of year awards, the province end of year function awards, which we'll talk about later in the show. You've got HSBC Sevens that you're working on. I mean, there's a whole lot of activity still going on at the moment.
No, definitely. I think while I say we're going on holiday, we'll still be working, but it'll be more flexi time and that. Yes. So, yeah, I know I've been hounded by people wanting fixtures to do planning for next year. So I think my holidays will be focused more on trying to finish up the fixtures and trying to finalize everything for next year. Yeah, I think there's one good exciting thing happening next year. Is obviously, I'm sure you're aware of it, the Gold Cup, which will bring a lot more excitement to a lot more clubs. So that's something to look forward to, I think, in the new year.
Actual fact, we don't know anything about the Gold Cup. So maybe you can enlighten us about the Gold Cup, if that's good. If there's some activity on the cards there. But Jerome, just from a club rugby perspective and listening to Faisal, it's obviously to hear that so many clubs are preparing already for next year. They want to know what the fixtures are. They want to obviously get themselves ready for 2020. That's great.
Yeah, it's good, and we've been testing. Last night we've been testing Super C. So there's a lot of clubs and a lot of guys busy at the moment. Coming to the HPC, and also we'll wrap up next week with these guys. And
right then, folks, it's time for us to take a look at what's happening in Western Province Rugby. Of course, big thanks to Morgan Newman that was standing in for me in the hot seat, so to speak. Morgs, if you're watching right now, thank you very much, and we're hoping to get you back on the show. Folks, we're going to take a look at the Colby Sevens, an event started out in the Kraaifontein area over the last few years. Of course, everybody knows Cheslin Colby. A social event, a lot of guys getting busy at the moment with a social rugby activity where we see sevens rugby, we see beach rugby, touch rugby, all sorts of rugby activity. But that's coming up over the next two segments. And then we'll, of course, take a look at what's happening with the Stormers. The DHL Stormers are busy practicing at the High Performance Centre before the Springboks get back. Jerome's testing, so a whole lot on the cards. And then, of course, next week we will be covering the annual Western Province Rugby Awards dinner. We'll talk about that during the course of the show as well. Let's take a look now at what happened at the Colby Sevens over the weekend. The first match we're looking at is in the quarterfinals between the Liberty Web Rebels and the Mariatsburg. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Right, so there you go. The Liberty Web Rebels beating Maritzburg 24-19. Jerome, lyk my bietjie stofferig daar so jong, but still some good handling skills.
Yeah, some good handling skills if they can see the ball. Because of all that dust in that field, like it was really, I don't know, but yeah, good handling skills, and the guys were running. It's crazy to see this time of the year guys are still serious in playing rugby and enjoying it.
Well, I think that there's a demand for it. People want to stay active on the weekend. If they're not going to the gym, they want to hang out with their friends. They still want to be active. When we look at this, there's players in the Web Rebels tournament from St. George's, Helderberg, Strand United, Strand. So there's already a group of guys there, and I think some of them obviously still excited to stick around after the score sevens.
Yeah, it's you know, we always ask ourselves the question: is the score sevens too long? Must it be stopped, or must they go on? But if I look at the guys, still go play there and thing. But I also think, JP, there's also guys must also be careful, because there's a fine line. You don't want to get injured now, because your body needs to recover, and there's certain time, and it's recovering time, and it's time to get.
Yeah, but Jerome, you're assuming that you're taking the players that are playing in the first team and the second team, and that these are social guys who just want to play rugby.
No, but still, they play the whole year, and a lot of these guys are guys who played in the first team or whatever. But it's good that they play, but I just say, like, they must just be careful from my point of view.
Yes, because you're going to be testing them on Monday.
No, and then no, but what I say, no, it's good that they play, but sometimes there's a cut-off.
No, I get it. I mean, I get it. You don't want to be risking any player at this time of year because of potential injuries, and
it's more fatigue. So your body's fatigued now, stuff can go, but if they're happy with what they do, they must do it.
That's right. And the clubs, Faisal, the clubs certainly seem to love social rugby. You had just before we do this, I just need to ask you, how did your Christmas party go? I missed it. It was on TV last week. Everybody's talking about your end of year Christmas function.
Yeah, no, JP, it was fantastic. Every year I say to myself, never again. It goes the time, obviously we get the calls, we get the requests and that there, but I must say, you know, the kids thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the young ones. We had kids from about 3 years till about, say, 10 years of age. Again, you know, all the kids are from the various homes and that there, so for them it was a fantastic day, nice outing, opportunity for them to go wild, enjoy themselves. We had jumping castles, Father Christmas, the fire engine was there, goodie bags. You know, I must thank our sponsors, our people that always come on board, always help us out. You know, they never say no.
Any names you want to mention?
There's a number of club people, Mr. Benjamin from Cape Ways. I mean, there's too few to mention. Uncle John from Score, Bashoes, you know, always supporting us in that there. Yeah. I think it's just a great initiative, and I think for the guys to be involved in that there, it's something special. I sent a message also to Mr. Abrams, who started the initiative. I think it was almost 10 years ago. We started the Christmas party. And it's been going ever since. And I always said to myself, I set a goal, I want to have 1,000 kids. I think at 300, 250 is enough. It's too much.
It's a lot of kids,
yeah. No,
that's
was
great.
fabulous.
And I believe that each one of the kids got a Stormers rugby jersey.
Stormers rugby jersey. Hopefully coming out to Newlands next year, we'll have 250 extra Stormers supporters supporting the team, backing the team. So yeah, that was fantastic. I think that was a cherry on top, each of them getting a Stormers jersey on that.
I think absolutely fantastic initiative. It's really great. Well done. I think for any kids out there to see Santa Claus and that fire engine coming down, it's really admirable. So that's great initiative. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll catch up with the Durbel. They were up also against the Rebels. And then after that, Kraaifontein Rebels up against the Galaxy Warriors. So a lot of social rugby still on the cards. We'll see you after the break. Well, welcome back, everybody. We were, of course, out of the Colby Sevens over the weekend. We were taking a look at some of the highlights from the event. Of course, annual social Sevens rugby tournament that happens for the various charity in the area that the organisers choose every year. Let's take a look at now what happened between Durbel and the Rebels. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Durban up against Rebels in the quarterfinals. Durban walking away with the 2014 result then over the Rebels in the quarterfinals. Up next, the Kraaifontein Rebels up against the Galaxy Warriors. Jerome, the Galaxy Warriors, coached by Labib Levy and Shuaib Bom Samai, two experienced players, a lot of players from that side there, from Bellar, Northerns, Hamiltons, SK Warmers. But Labib's got a bit of coaching experience when it comes to sevens.
Yeah, he's sevens in touch rugby, so he's got that. And Bom also played sevens. I think he played for Springboks or stuff, I think. So yeah, good combination of coaches there. It'll be interesting to see how they went in the tournament.
Let's take a look and see then how the Kraaifontein Rebels did up against the Galaxy Warriors. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Right then, the Kraaifontein Rebels are the 19 points of 14 win over the Galaxy Warriors. Jerome, what do you think of the skill set there?
No, I must say, both sides, the score for 19-14 in sevens, it could have gone to any team, but the Kraaifontein Legends just a bit too strong. But I think good rugby overall, and good skills, good pace from both sides. Yeah. So yeah, it was good to see.
Faisal, I see a number of Western Province rugby referees there, obviously making sure that the game's going according to plan there. What do the referees do now during the course of end of the year and leading up to next year? Do they hit the books, or do they study their videos, or what are the referees up to? You've told us that you guys have, obviously your attention changes a little bit about logs and results and things, but
look, I think as Jerome said, I think it's also, time out, time to relax, give your body some time off, out. Yeah. I think this year has been a very challenging year, especially with the referees, the shortage of referees. So some of these guys have been doing 2-3 games on a Saturday. So I think it's a well-deserved break for them. Hopefully they're resting. And hopefully, off season, I think the guys are also planning a preparation in terms of the new season. But like you saw on Saturday, there's always some diehards that want to referee every Saturday, want to be part of it.
But the life of a referee is as busy as the life of a player. No, so as a coach or a captain, you've got to stay up to date. You've got to polish your skills. Also, a great opportunity to have sort of off-season training. You've got to stay fit.
No, definitely. I think people don't realize the referee doesn't just rock up there on the Saturday. He's on a Monday. They have training sessions where they go through their fitness and check on the referee. They've got bleep tests. There's a number of things that the referee needs to do. It's not just knowing the laws of the game. It's also the fitness levels of the referee. So hopefully some of these guys are going to be out. Some of the guys that have retired, that haven't been refereeing now this year, hopefully they come out again next year. And also I think we also want to encourage some of the guys that are playing, that have hung up their boots.
All right, I've got a trick question for both of you, for Jerome and for you, Faisal. Who is the guy on a game day that runs more than anybody else? No answer.
On a game day.
On game day.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
Yes.
Most of the time it is the ref.
Yes.
But it depends on how many line breaks in the game is, and you can measure that, but most of the time it is the ref.
Okay, I think you're wrong. Faisal, would you like to have a guess?
And the touch judge.
And the touch judge, I think you're wrong also. Faisal,
it's a trick question, yes.
It's a trick question.
I'm not sure. I would have thought the ref is always constantly on the go, following the ball. I always say if you're playing, you have time to rest, you have time to hide in the pack. But I think a referee for me would be the guy that's constantly on the go.
All right. My opinion is it's very simple. It's the cameraman.
Moving his head.
The cameraman has to run up and down the field all the time along the side. Anyway, folks, a trick question there for our panel.
I wanted to say it's not
Jerome, of course, going straight into technical matters there with his GPSs and
I wanted to say it's not the cameraman.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to come this way.
All right, folks, in the quarterfinals then, it was the Living Legends up against the Bar Valley Barbarians. And then afterwards we managed to speak to their coach, Tanswell Jason. Let's take a look here at the quarterfinals here. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Dit was baie lekker geweest. My eerste keer wat ek hier kon wees saam met die Barbarians en my eerste jaar wat ek saam met die Barbarians ook is. En die gees is lekker, die vibe is lekker soos julle kan sien. Vir my baie voorreg en so ek sê baie dankie vir die Cheslin Colby sewes. Soos ek altyd vir die manne sê, sewes is 'n baie unieke sport en hy's baie lekker ook. Vir my ek geniet my sewes afrigting en om saam met hulle te werk is 'n stop sonder cherry on top soos hulle sê.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Right, welcome back everybody. Still coming up during the course of the show, we'll catch up with the DHL Stormers. They're busy with their training at the High Performance Centre in Belleville. We will take a look at the testing that's happening at the moment in Super League A, B and C with Jerome Parvater. He's got a number of the club rugby players in their testing sessions. We'll take a look at that. And then, of course, we're going to do a little bit of a look ahead at the Western Province Rugby Awards Dinner. That is the annual awards dinner that happens every year. Very exciting, and all the clubs get together and get their trophies. Some of those trophies going back quite a few years. That was, of course, a win for the Living Legends over the Bar-Valet Barbarians in the quarterfinals. And when we come back from the break, we'll take a look at what happened with the Kraaifontein Rebels and the Living Legends. Back in a sec. Right then, welcome back everybody. As you know, we were out of the Colby Sevens over the weekend, supporting there a little bit. Of course, funds raised here go to a charity. Last year, the guys from the Colby organisation raised funds for the Haven night shelter, and also did a bit of a end of year Christmas party there. In the semi-finals, it was the Kraaifontein Rebels up against the Living Legends. Check this out. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Kraaifontein Rebels then up against the Living Legends. Full-time score there. The Rebels beating the Legends 14-12. Jerome, some of those players are familiar to you?
Yeah, I saw Dylan Goliath playing for the Kraaifontein Rebels, but he's from Durban, and Durban is playing there. It's strange to see that. And I know he stays in Kraaifontein, but it's good to see that. I mean, he's back in his community, but he played for Durban. But it's invitational side, so I think it doesn't matter. But the Living Legends also, great challenge there, great game. In all these games that we watched so far, the competition is quite tight. It's quite good.
It is tight, yeah. Well, I think everybody loves this kind of rugby. We've seen it before. We saw it during the Score Sevens, where these guys, they're almost like 7 specialists. This is their, who means that's your course.
Yeah, and one good thing about this, we don't see high scores because the one-on-one tackles is good. So it's good for the guys to work on their one-on-one defense, the 7. So that's also good to see that the scores are not, one team are not running away. They're actually putting the defensive systems in tackle and yeah.
Yeah. Right, folks, the Durban, we're speaking about Durban. Durban was up against the Liberty Web Rebels, and we also managed to catch up there with Ricardo Dahati, the Durban captain. Let's take a look at what happened here. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Het was een great toernooi. Ja, het was definitief baie hard, baie goeie kompetisie vandag geweest. Het was eintlik baie lekker om vandag hier te speel en ek wil dankie sê aan die Rebels om so iets vir ons te kan gee. Nogals nou onlangs het ons coach nogals met ons gepraat, maar nou die 15-man coach, hy het vir ons gevra om bietjie meer op die media te klim, dat ons die gemeenskap meer by ons intrek, veral Durbanville en Bellville en daai goed. Maar ja, die coaches en definitief die CEO en so wil definitief hê ons moet die spanne bietjie of die gemeente bietjie nader aan ons trek.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Ricardo Dahati there, captain of Durban. Durban beating the Rebels then 21 points to 7. Jerome, again, player you recognize?
Yeah, Ricardo was part of my under-21 system, but then he got a contract for a season at Boland.
Yep.
So went to Boland, played for Boland. But it's good. I think he's back in Durbanville again. So good player, young player with lots of potential.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Coming through the ranks, always good to see players getting an opportunity to move forward. Right, if you want to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks, 33090 is the number that you need to message. Just SMS the word SCORE to 33090, 33090, and you put yourself in the mix to win a case of Score. Congratulations to last week's winner, Lynette Hearn. Lynette, you walk away with a case of Score Energy Drinks. Someone from Cape Rugby TV is going to be in touch with you shortly. Right, of course, don't forget then enter that Score Energy Drinks competition. It was the cup final then eventually at the Colby Sevens between Kraaifontein Rebels and the Durban, and we managed to speak to John Lee Klaasen, captain of the Kraaifontein Rebels, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV. Let's take a look now. What happened? This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Eerstens wil ek vir die organiseerders en die bestuur van Oos baie dankie sê, was so 'n goeie toernooi omdat hulle gereël het. Rugby was in 'n goeie spirit vandag gespeel. En soos jy sê, is die derde jaar nou agter jou volgens wat ons wen. Om te dink ons het nog geen toernooi saam agter die blad gehad nie. En om vandag hier uit te kom en in die final teen Derby te kom speel en wat 'n final was dit. En om as oorwinnaars uit te tree, was 'n baie goeie final. Ja, dit wat ons probeer doen, ons probeer om die community saam te trek. As ons die ding begin het as 'n community ding, ons wil almal hier saam hê op die veld. Soos jy vandag kon gesien het, mense het hulle geniet. Ons het lekker gehad, die mense het lekker by die atmosfeer was lekker. En dis wat Nicolas altyd wou gehê het, oorlede Nicolas. Hy het altyd gesê hy wil die community as een verskorsing Kryfontein en Henson Hats wil hy as een bring. En ek dink ons is na die regte stap toe om dit te maak.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Right then, congratulations then to the Kryfontein Rebels walking away as the winners of the 2019 Colby Sevens. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, it's the Club 2 Supersport Challenge. Jerome Parvada has been busy with testing out at the High Performance Centre. This is exciting for club rugby. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV every Wednesday, 9 p.m. through to 10 p.m. at least. And of course, if you miss it here, don't forget the repeat on a Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Jerome, it's currently the Club 2 Supersport Challenge preparation at the moment. You're doing a lot of testing. We've got some highlights here, but just in a nutshell, before we look at this, what is the Supersport Challenge?
JP, Supersport Challenge is a competition that we play while the Super Rugby is on.
Right.
And we have a lot of
age groups.
No, it doesn't matter because that's not under 21. So everybody can play.
Okay.
So we have professional players, and then we have club players.
So while the DHL Stormers are busy with the Super Rugby, you've got the Supersport
Challenge, yeah. And the idea is to use club players also to see and give them opportunity to play. So that's what we do, and that's why we're doing this testing now again, to give guys an opportunity to see on what level they are and where they are at, and retest them again next year and to see if they improve. If they didn't improve, then or they have improved.
Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the footage, and you tell us what your opinion is so far and whether or not you're getting any success here. Let's take a look what happened, folks. We managed to get out to HPC where Jerome is testing at the moment. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Right, there we go. Testing, Jerome, I must say, Faisal, let's go to you first.
Yes,
This looks
I've been
rather
waiting.
challenging. You've done some of this stuff before, but I mean, it looks like the guys are hammered.
No, I've been waiting for this. I think, from my side, it's good to see. And I mentioned earlier, and I think when I was playing in that there was one thing I think I always strive for was my fitness in that. And I think at this stage, doing these tests and that there, you got to test yourself. You got to put the benchmark there. And I think, firstly, I want to first commend, Jerome for what he's doing and for the opportunities that he's providing. And, looking here and chatting earlier on that, JP, I'm a bit concerned. At the turnout there, every club had an opportunity to send players, and you have an opportunity here to speak to the Supersport Challenge coach. Who's the coach? He's a guy that identifies the talent ID as a perfect opportunity for you to excel. And the turnout in that there, I would like to see more clubs. I'd like to see more club and more players taking this opportunity.
But surely this is a question. I mean, if I'm a club rugby player and I knew that opportunity was there, I would definitely be there.
JP, the mail is sent out to all clubs. I think we've opened it up, and I think we've gone over and above. And I think from the union side, we're serious about trying to find talent and trying to see if there's hidden gems, rough diamonds out there from Super League all the way down to the regions and that there. So of the turnout, like I said, a lot of the clubs haven't sent their players. Like I said, maybe they're hiding. Maybe some of the messages got out that the training, it's hard, it's tough. And I think also, sorry to cut short, but I think also, when you get there, you need to understand, the benchmark is high. You need to be fit, you need to be training. And I think, as Jerome mentioned earlier, it's all good and well. I think we all want to play rugby, we all want to play on a Saturday, we want to play fixtures. But the one thing is off-season, is planning, is fitness, is trying to get in shape. And at the same time,
if you're not doing off-season training at the moment, then you've got a serious problem. You're not going to do well in the league next year. It's simply, that's my opinion. I think it's a proven fact already. You should be doing off-season training. But Jerome, let's just go to you here. This was Super League. Super League C. Have you still do more testing this year, or does the rest come next year?
No. We done with the testing. We're done with the testing now. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna give these guys now their scores. What their scores were on yesterday's running in pull-ups and push-ups. Sorry, and then they have to go back and work, and we'll send the programs to the clubs.
You test them again. Make
we're
sure
gonna
that they've
test
done
them again next year. We're gonna test them again. But JP and as Faisal was saying, out of 15 clubs, there were 6 clubs, and I'm only gonna retest these guys because you can't go backwards. So we need to go forward with these guys. So it was a bit disappointing to see only 6 clubs picked, and some clubs only sent 1 or 2 players. And as you were saying, there was one coach phoning me and said, "What are you going to test?" Because some of their players are afraid, and they could only manage to send 2 guys. So out of a club of 30 or 40 players, you can't even get 5 guys to come because players are afraid.
Right, and so when we come back from the break, we'll be catching up with the DHL Stormers. They are busy with their off-season and pre-season training at the High Performance Centre, and we've got some interviews there where we catch up with Lyle Hendricks, playing centre for the Stormers, as well as Chris van Sale, captain and lock of Western Province Rugby. Of course, waiting for Sia to get back. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV, as you know. DHL Stormers, of course, busy with testing, at least not testing, that's for the Club Rugby guys. Busy with pre-season, off-season training. We managed to catch up with some other boys at the High Performance Centre, Belleville. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Yeah, obviously it's a big step. It's a great honour, firstly, to be with the Stormers. It was always a dream of mine to be here. And obviously the tempo of the game and the physicality is on high intensity. So yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah, I mean, this block is more to do with more shape and training on the field. Our first phase was more conditioning and strength. So in that stage, we just got our skin folds down and our strength up. So yeah, the boys are in good shape. No, I mean, like I said, it's a great inspiration to be here. There's people I look up to from when I was a young age, and obviously being on the field with them is a great honor, and just gives me that extra motivation and that extra energy.
Yeah, great. Great to be back with the boys. Our second round of pre-season. You know, we started quite early this year, but it's been good, and slowly but surely the books will start coming back. So lots to look forward to. The excitement levels are there. I think the guys are quite keen to put in some hard work before we go on a short break over Christmas. And yeah, like I said, what's also helping is the Springboks and guys who have been away are coming back slowly but surely, and that always brings new excitement levels. I mean, obviously they've got a squad system going here, which I think they're trying to build the depth in many positions, and that's why it's been great to have, you know, we've almost had 6 weeks together as a squad, and we've got another 2 to go. So lots of excitement and lots of things to look forward to.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy.
Right, folks, of course, DHL Stormers there, busy for action or busy preparing for action, always exciting. Just a reminder then, CTC Sports are, of course, busy with their off-season rugby jersey sale. Seniors jerseys are 220 Rand ex-VAT, junior jerseys 200 Rand ex-VAT. That special is running from the 1st of November to the 1st of January. And if you want to get a hold of somebody at CTC Sports, just SMS the letters CTC with your name to 33090 and we'll pass on your details. So there's a jersey special running at the moment. Get your jerseys now ready for next year, or at least get in the queue as well with CTC Sports while they've got this jersey special running at the moment. As I said, just SMS the word CTC to 33090. You'll see it on the bottom of the screen over here now. Faisal, next week is the annual Western Province Rugby Awards dinner. Very exciting. It's an opportunity where all the clubs get together. You have, let's just quickly look. I'm sure we've got a listing here, but let's quickly look at some of this. You've got most promising backs, you've got most promising forwards, you've got best backs, Club Rugby Player of the Year, Referee of the Year, a whole host of awards annually. I mean, this is an enormous awards.
No, it's fantastic. I think it's the climax of the season. It's what we all wait for. I think, you know, the clubs have been looking forward to it, and like I said, it's a moment for the club players to shine and, you know, to be seen and to be out there. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It's an event that everybody looks forward to.
Jerome, have you earmarked any players in this season that you think, from a club perspective, deserve the award of being the Club Rugby Player of the Year or the best back of the year?
Yeah, I must say, JP,
without giving away
the club player of the year for me is somebody as a young guy, but it's somebody that he can go all the way.
Can go all the way.
I'm happy, and I'm glad that this guy got this award, because he really looks like a guy that can go the full length of to become a professional player.
Faisal, the other nice thing about the awards is it's also the time that we see the clubs get together with the professional players, and it's the one night where the guys are rubbing shoulders with the Springbok Rugby players and the DHL Stormers, all under the banner of Western Province Rugby.
No, definitely. I think it's opportunity. I think the reason also for the event being hosted now is late. It's normally done in October. Is the Springbok players that will be back. So giving club players, amateur players, also the opportunity to rub shoulders, as you said. But just that interaction, I think, for some of the senior players, also the Currie Cup Stormers players, to also realise where they come from, where they started. So I think that's fantastic in that there, definitely.
Yeah. Jerome, then we will see you next week at the Western Province Rugby Awards dinner.
Yes, JP, definitely.
Are you sure? A little bit of a delay there.
That's
well, I think one of the questions everybody's got, Faisal, is will Sia Khaleesi be there?
Sia will definitely be there. There
Where?
might be also an extra surprise and
Extra
something
surprise?
Yeah, that I think a lot of people would want. So Sia will be there,
Yep.
and you'll probably have a partner with him. Yeah, not
Fantastic,
saying
and
anything.
we expect it all to be on the show tomorrow, at least next week. We will be coming to you from the annual awards dinner. So Wednesday night next week will be dedicated to the entire awards dinner, and hopefully we'll get the legend himself, Sia Khaleesi, on the show, and who knows, maybe we'll show you a little bit of gold at the same time. Jerome, thanks for joining me. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
Yeah, definitely see you next week.
Thanks, Faisal. Best of luck with preparations for the HSBC 7s, and fantastic to have you here.
No, thanks a lot, JP. And I think if you don't see me again, I want to wish everybody, all the viewers, everybody, a great holiday, great Christmas, and see you in the new year.
Absolutely. There we go, folks. That's a wrap from us here again. We'll see you again, as I say, next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.